Welcome to Forks and Fandoms, where fandoms meet flavor. This is Duck, this is Quack, and today we're celebrating Winnie the Pooh Day! Yay! So today, because it's Winnie the Pooh Day, and it is a day dedicated to everyone's favorite honey-loving bear, what a better way than to make some honey buns! Because it's a sweet treat that he would absolutely adore. So today, we are having a day. Today, we're gonna make some copycat Little Debbie Honey Buns. We found the recipe on Epicurious. So let's go. Let's all dive in to the 100 Acre Wood.
Before we start baking, let's take a quick look at everything we'll need to make these honey buns. For the dough, we've got bread flour, milk powder, kosher salt, instant yeast, 1 egg, whole milk, honey, and unsalted butter. For the filling, we'll use granulated sugar, brown sugar, more butter, more honey, cinnamon, and vanilla. For the icing, because what's a honey bun without icing? We'll need raspberries and honey. You can add a touch of bee pollen if you're feeling fancy. Now to make the buns. To get started, we're going to make tangzhong. It's a simple flour and water paste. It's the secret to incredibly soft and fluffy honey buns. Whisk together in a small saucepan 1/3 cup or 40 grams bread flour and 3/4 cup or 170 grams of water. Cook over medium-high heat, whisking constantly until the mixture thickens to a runny paste or reaches 65 degrees Celsius or 149 degrees Fahrenheit. It should take about 1 to 2 minutes. Transfer the tangzhong to a small bowl and let it chill, uncovered. While the tangzhong cools, let's get started on the dry ingredients. In the bowl of a stand mixer, whisk together 2 tablespoons or 14 grams of whole or non-fat milk, dry milk powder, 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of instant, and 4 3/4 cups or 570 grams of bread flour. In a separate bowl, whisk together 1 large egg, 1 cup or 227 grams of whole milk, 2 tablespoons or 42 grams of honey. If you're not using instant yeast, you can use the wet ingredients to prove your yeast. When the tangzhong is cold, add it to the dry ingredients, along with the wet mixture, and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, cut into 4 pieces. Fit the bowl onto a stand mixer with a dough hook attachment. Start on a low speed, mixing until a shaggy dough forms around the hook. About 3 to 4 minutes. It may take longer depending on your mixer. Be sure to stop the mixer occasionally to scrape down the sides of the bowl as needed. Once the dough has come together, increase the mixer speed to medium-low and continue kneading until the dough springs back when gently poked. About 5 to 7 minutes. The dough will be sticky, but it should slap against and clean the sides of the bowl. Remove the bowl from the mixer and scrape the dough off the hook. Lightly coat a large bowl with nonstick vegetable oil spray. Transfer the dough to the oiled bowl and lightly coat the top of the dough with spray as well. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap and chill for at least 4 hours, or up to 1 day. The dough will double in size as it rests, and the longer it ferments, the more flavor it develops. While we wait for the dough to rise, we can use the time to whip up a yummy filling and delicious icing. Start by preparing the filling. Using an electric mixer on medium speed, beat together the following: 1/2 cup or 100 grams of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup or 100 grams of light brown sugar, 1/2 cup or 113 grams of unsalted butter at room temperature, 2 tablespoons or 42 grams of honey, 1 tablespoon or 13 grams of ground cinnamon or cinnamon sugar, 1/2 teaspoon or 3 grams of vanilla paste or vanilla extract, 1 pinch of salt. Beat the filling until it's fluffy. About 2 minutes. Transfer it to a pastry bag or a 1-quart resealable plastic bag if you don't have a pastry bag. Set aside and let it sit at room temperature. Pro tip: you can make the filling a day ahead of time. Just chill it in the bag and make sure to bring it up to room temperature before you use it. Next, make the icing. In a medium saucepan, combine the following: 10 ounces fresh or frozen raspberries, 1/2 cup or 113 grams of water, 1/2 cup or 85 4 grams of honey. Bring the mixture to a boil over medium-high heat. Once at a boil, turn the heat down to low and simmer until the raspberries are very soft and falling apart. Sift the mixture through a fine sieve into a heat-safe bowl, or very carefully blend until smooth. Chill in the fridge and make sure to bring it up to room temperature before we use it. This also can be made a day ahead of time. Now is the fun part: rolling, filling, and shaping our honey buns. Don't worry too much about perfection. The charm of these buns lies in their homemade look and feel. Now that our dough is risen, let's turn them into little beehives. Lightly flour your work surface, then turn the dough out on top of it. Dust the top with a little flour as needed. Using your hands, gently press and stretch the dough into an 11 by 9 inch rectangle. Slice the dough into 9 1-inch strips, or you can weigh out each portion so that you have 9 135-gram pieces. Roll each piece into a 30-inch rope, applying moderate pressure. Dust the surface with a little more flour if needed to prevent sticking. Let the ropes rest for 5 minutes. Gently pat down each rope with your hands until it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. Make sure the filling is soft and pliable, but not melted. If it's not soft and you have had it in the fridge, feel free to put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. If you're using a resealable plastic bag or a plastic piping bag, snip off one corner or the end to create a 1/4 to 1/2 inch opening. Pipe a thin strip of filling down the center of each flattened dough rope. Working one rope at a time, roll it up tightly to create a spiral. Then place it on your work surface and tuck the end underneath to finish it. The buns should have a slightly domed shape. If the center sticks out too much, gently push them down to keep the buns uniform. This prevents the centers from burning during baking. Arrange the buns on a large parchment-filled lined baking sheet, or a 9 by 13 inch cake, spacing them out as best you can around 1/2 inch apart. You should be able to fit all 9 buns on one sheet. Leave just enough space so they can proof into one another slightly as they rise. Cover them loosely with plastic wrap or a kitchen towel and let them sit at room temperature until they've almost doubled in size, about 75 to 90 minutes. When the buns have doubled in size and are ready to bake, place a rack in the lower third of your oven and preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake the buns for 10 minutes, then rotate the sheet. Continue baking for another 8 to 10 minutes until they're golden brown on top. If you find that the tops are browning too quickly, just cover the pan with a little aluminum foil. Don't worry if some of the filling seeps onto the baking sheet. That's totally normal. While the buns cool, let's take a moment to visit Winnie the Pooh in the 100 Acre Wood. Did you know Winnie the Pooh was inspired by a stuffed bear in real life that A.A. Milne bought for his son, Christopher Robin? What began as a simple Christmas Eve story in 1925 blossomed into timeless books and, eventually, a beloved Disney classic. Pooh's obsession with honey has become a defining part of his character, which makes this recipe a sweet nod to the bear we all know and love. The first book, Winnie the Pooh, came out in 1926, followed by The House at Pooh Corner in 1928. Milne also included poems about Pooh in earlier works, like When We Were Very Young in 1924, and Now We Are 6 in 1927, all beautifully illustrated by E.H. Shepard. The stories were set in the 100 Acre Wood, where we are now, which is inspired by the real-life Ashdown Forest in East Sussex, near Milne's countryside home. Unsurprisingly, over time, Pooh's charm has become universal, and the tales have been translated into countless languages, including Latin. In 1961, Disney brought Pooh to life on the screen, transforming the cuddly bear into one of the most iconic franchises. Since then, actors like Sterling Holloway, Jim Cummings, and others have given voice to the honey-loving bear, and he has been joined in the 100 Acre Wood by his great friends, Tigger, Eeyore, Kanga, Roo, owl, and rabbit. And of course, Christopher Robin.
All right, our buns are out of the oven. Finishing touches, we're gonna put our icing on top. We're gonna drizzle it, see how that goes. We might just smoosh it. Nope. It's just not gonna drizzle. That's okay. It's cold outside. We're gonna smoosh it over the top. There. Now it looks like those honey buns you can buy at the store. Should I just pick it up? Let's just pick it up. It's gonna make a mess. Here we go. Oh gosh. It looks delicious. It smells really good too. That's delicious. It's got a really good balance between the honey, the cinnamon filling, the raspberry on top. Oh no! Pooh down! What do you think? Winnie the Pooh thinks it's delicious too. These are great. Solid 9 out of 10, I think. There's a couple of things I would change. If you want the recipe, I'll put it in the description. I'll make a couple little tweaks to it before I put it in the description. It's delicious. Give this a try. They're great for this weekend. Honey buns. Who approves?
Thank you for joining me on this sweet adventure in forks and fandoms. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and of course, hit that notification bell for more fandom-inspired recipes. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what's your favorite Winnie the Pooh moment? Who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character? And do you have a geeky recipe that you think I should try out? Let me know. Until next time, keep baking and geeking out.